Hello, welcome back to Shakesyear. This one is delicious. I'm sorry, it's delicious. We are working on Henry VI, Part 3, and today we get to hear from Queen Margaret in Act 1, Scene 4. So, real quick recap. The Duke of York has said that he should be the king. In order to quell that rebellion, King Henry said that when he dies, he'll give the crown to York, who can then pass it down through his family. Queen Margaret didn't take that the Duke of York agreed to that and agreed to not kill the king. Queen Margaret got really pissed off about that because that means that her son will never be king. So she divorced the king and went to muster her own army to try to overthrow him. But first she went to lay siege on the Duke of York's castle. And the Duke of York's sons have been encouraging him to just go ahead and kill the king anyway so that he can become king sooner. And he's like, no, I'm not going to do that. And then the queen comes and attacks him and he's like, oh, well, this is fine. We can totally beat her. But he doesn't. And meanwhile, over in that corner, Clifford killed Rutland, who is York's youngest son, like a kid while he was studying, probably studying swordplay, but whatever, killed this kid. Because he has a vendetta against all of the Yorks because the Duke of York killed Clifford's dad, also named Clifford. So at the beginning of this scene, we had York being like, how on earth is the queen beating me? And I'm getting really tired and I'm getting old and I'm probably not going to last a whole lot longer. And then a bunch of other people come in, Clifford and Northumberland and the queen and lots of people. And they basically capture him and they're starting to rough him up a little bit. And she's like, no, I've got 20 reasons why he should stay alive and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, okay, so Your Majesty, what do you want us to do with him? And she says, brave warriors, Clifford and Northumberland, come make him stand upon this molehill here that rutted mountained with outstretched arms, yet parted but the shadow with his hand. What? Was it you that would be England's king? Was't you that revelled in our parliament and made a preachment of your high descent? Where are your mess of sons to back you now? The wanton Edward and the lusty George. And where's that valiant crookback prodigy, Dicky, your boy, that with his grumbling voice was wont to cheer his dad in mutinies? Or with the rest, where is your darling Rutland? Look, York, I stained this napkin with the blood that valiant Clifford with his rapier's point made issue from the bosom of the boy. And if thine eyes can water for his cheeks, I give thee this to dry thy cheeks withal. Alas, poor York, but that I hate thee deadly, I should lament thy miserable state. I prithee grieve to make me merry, York. What, hath thy fiery heart so parched thine entrails that not a tear can fall for Rutland's death? Why art thou patient, man? Thou shouldst be mad, and I, to make thee mad, do mock thee thus. Stamp, rave, and fret, that I may sing and dance. Thou wouldst be freed, I see, to make me sport. York cannot speak unless he wear a crown. A crown for York, and lords, bow low to him. Hold you his hands whilst I do set it on. Aye, marry, sir, now looks he like a king. Aye, this is he that took King Henry's chair, and this is he was his adopted heir. But how is it that great Plantagenet is crowned so soon, and broke his solemn oath? As I bethink me, you should not be king till our King Henry had shook hands with death. And will you pale your head in Henry's glory, and rob his temples of the diadem, now in his life, against your holy oath? Oh, 'tis a fault too unpardonable. Off with the crown, and with the crown his head, and whilst we breathe, take time to do him dead. Ah, I love it. She's so she's vicious. she's vicious. She knows what she wants and she's gonna get it, and she knows exactly how to do it, and she's playing with him like a cat with a toy. So yeah, she brings him in and she sets him up on Henry's throne and is like, well, you don't look like a king, and where's all your kids? Oh, and by the way, your youngest boy, Rutland, was just murdered by Clifford right there, and this is his blood soaked into this napkin, which use that to dry your tears with as you mourn your son. Wipe your tears on the bloody napkin that holds his blood. And then she's like, well, he's not saying anything because he's not the king. So they put a fake crown on his head, and she's like, oh, but now you're wearing a crown, which you said you wouldn't take from Henry until Henry's dead, but Henry's not dead, so we're gonna kill you. It's just delicious. I'm sorry, it's just delicious. It's just delicious. But tomorrow, we get to hear about this much from the Duke of York in rebuttal to this mockery and to this game and to this toying and playing that she does with him. Anyway, we'll see how he rebuts and if it is enough to keep his head attached to his neck. I'll see you tomorrow. Mwah.